Tonight at 10, a scathing report almost a year after a parole officer was killed on the job. Allegations that Maryland's public safety department is an unsafe workplace. The recommendations for change. DOJ blocked Elon Musk's team accessing sensitive taxpayer information ordered to stop and destroy data they've collected. Another judicial pause over sweeping changes from the White House.
And we have some freezing fog and freezing precipitation out there, creating slick roads. I'll let you know what to expect for the remainder of the night and tomorrow morning coming up.
The investigation continues. The plane and helicopter now both largely out of the Potomac River after last week's tragedy in the skies. The helicopter's location transmission system reportedly turned off before the crash. We'll explain. And finding savings. Inflation woes continue. After a promise from the White House to crack down on prices, we're stretching your dollar with a grocery price check.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good Saturday evening. Thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 10 o'clock on DCW 50. I'm Ben Dennis. Time is 10:01. We're going to toss it right over to Scott Sumner, meteorologist, standing by. Scott, I know we had a little wintry mix earlier, but check it out. Look at the fog we're checking. We are take it away. The fog is fogging my brain tonight, apparently.
Well, foggy over there.
Indeed.
Yes. All right, well, we're going to take over, and hopefully I won't be too foggy with this forecast. Here we go. Let's take a look. We got winter alerts out there, winter weather advisory, which will continue for another 2 hours here across portions of Carroll County, Frederick County, Washington County, Allegheny County, and then we get out towards Garrett County, and that's where you have an ice storm warning out that way due to already seeing about 1/10 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch of ice on some of the branches and roads and sidewalks, overpasses. A problem out there, needless to say, and so that will go till 1 o'clock. On top of all of that, we have low visibilities, making it treacherous driving out there. Kaiser's down to 1 mile visibility, but you notice these shades of colors, and noted by the legend here, we're looking at down to 1/4 of a mile where you see the bright white shade of color, which is a bullseye and covers I would say a good 2/3 of Garrett County. So yes, be careful out there for tonight as road conditions are slippery. We still have some icy roads out towards the Cumberland Way. Hagerstown, also some icy conditions over towards the Frederick region. So yeah, we have a lot going on outside at the moment, but we'll talk about a drier and much better looking day come Sunday.
All right, Scott. Turning now to a scathing new report describing Maryland's public safety department as an unsafe workplace. A citation from the state's Labor Department claims conditions led to last year's murder of a parole agent. Our Dave Laval covered that story for us when it happened. He has an update from Chevy Chase tonight.
Round Hill Apartments in Chevy Chase is where Davis Martinez lost his life last May after the parole agent came to check on a recently released convicted felon. The Maryland Labor Department has issued recommendations to prevent the loss of another parole agent.
We've been crying for a very long time.
But Renika Robinson believes things are about to improve for her and Maryland's other parole agents. Investigators said Emmanuel Sewell had beaten and stabbed the 33-year-old parole agent to death at his home May 31st, 2024. Police found Martinez's body later in the day after he failed to report in to supervisors.
It's tough. You know, I'm able to speak with his family, and it's hard, for them. It's hard for all of us.
The Maryland Labor Department issued the Public Safety Department a January 28th citation, much to the relief of Robinson, who heads the union that represents parole agents.
It went from us just crying for help to now having another agency come in and validate that the things we've been trying to bring to our administration's attention for years. There are a lot of really good recommendations.
Recommendations include 2 agents be sent on home visits, 2-way radios, and well-fitted bullet and stab-proof vests.
And it also lays out ways that, we can be safe.
Authorities arrested Sewell in West Virginia a day after Martinez died. He's still waiting to stand trial for second-degree murder. The citation says the Public Safety Department has until March 3rd to meet those recommendations. It does not say what will happen if those recommendations are not met. In Chevy Chase, Maryland, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Well, thanks to Dave for that update tonight. New tonight in the district, police say the 17-year-old boy was shot in Southeast this afternoon. Officials say it happened on Stanton Road near Suitland Parkway around 2:20. The boy was reportedly conscious and breathing. No word on his condition, though, at this hour. Police say that they're looking for a suspect around 5'3", wearing a blue Canada Goose jacket and blue jeans. Meantime, DC Fire say that 2 people were hurt after an apartment fire northeast this afternoon. It broke out in the basement of the apartment building along Kendall Street near Capitol Avenue just after 2 o'clock. Around 60 firefighters responded. We're told 6 adults are now without a home. 3 people were evaluated on scene, 2 sent to the hospital with minor injuries. Well, in Virginia, a fight over the state budget is ongoing. Both the House of Delegates and the state Senate have released their proposed amendments to the budget, and they're in stark contrast from the amendments proposed by Governor Youngkin in December. The legislature's amendments include tax rebates of $200 for individual tax filers, $400 for joint filers, and to be sent to Virginians later this year. But both versions do not include Governor Youngkin's proposed car tax relief proposal or his plan to end taxes on tips for hospitality workers.
Expect rebate checks to go out by October 15, 2025. If we had gone with the recommendation of the governor on car tax relief, that would have taken much longer.
We'd still like to see something done on the car tax, and we would like to see something done on tips. But the focus is to make sure money gets back to Virginians, and this budget does that.
Meantime, the budget process is far from over. The House and Senate will have to come up with a compromise version to send to the governor for him to consider before the General Assembly session ends later this month. Well, back in D.C., there are possible changes coming to leadership at the Kennedy Center. President Trump announcing in an unprecedented move that he is firing multiple board members and making himself the chairman. Trump says he'll be giving direction on programming, specifically saying he will end any drag performances. And the Kennedy Center responding to the president's declaration saying, quote, "We've received no official communications from the White House regarding changes to our board of trustees," adding, quote, "There's nothing in the center statute that would prevent a new administration from replacing board members. However, this would be the first time such action has been taken." Well, after the White House announced the gutting of humanitarian agency USAID, a federal judge is blocking the Trump administration from placing thousands of humanitarian workers with that agency on leave. The judge also ordered staffers to be reinstated who were placed on leave, but the funding freeze will stay. This judge, who was appointed by Trump in his first term, cited the well-being of the workers in the ruling. Earlier this week, USAID's name was scrubbed off of its headquarters in downtown D.C. Its flag was also taken down. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the shakeup inside the agency is to ensure American money goes toward American interests. Well, we got another decision from the courts. A federal judge has blocked Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, from accessing sensitive documents inside the Treasury. Those contain personal data of millions of Americans, including social security numbers and bank information. The judge also ordered all data downloaded already to be destroyed. The judge's decision follows 19 Democratic states, including Maryland, that filed a lawsuit saying DOGE's access to the documents violated federal law. The judge has set a hearing in this case for next Friday. Now over to the mid-air collision. New video tonight of the investigation that is prolonging into this tragic incident that happened on the Potomac River last week. This video coming in from the NTSB today shows agents examining and documenting the debris of the Black Hawk helicopter and plane in that crash. The agency also flew an aircraft with imaging technology over the Potomac early this morning with a green laser to find smaller debris in the riverbed that's still there. Meantime, their investigators are still working to learn what brought the aircraft so close to one another. One helicopter and retired airline captain tells DC News Now he expects investigators to uncover more about what was going on in the air traffic control tower at the time of the crash.
airplanes and the helicopter can both hear the controller, but they can't hear each other. That's a bit of a confusion there. There are supposed to be two controllers, one for the helicopter and one for the airplane, so that remains to be seen. That's another point that will be subject to the investigation.
Texas U.S. Senator Ted Cruz says his colleagues were told the Black Hawk helicopter's location transmission system was turned off, which reportedly military aircraft are allowed to fly with that system off.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing.
And here, the La Plata community coming together today to remember the lives lost in that crash. The New Life Church hosting a night of prayer and encouragement for all those impacted. The event was also live streamed at places of worship around the DMV, including in Alexandria and Prince Frederick, Maryland. For full coverage, head to our website, dcnewsnow.com. You'll find more stories about the victims and the latest on the investigation when we are not here on your TV airwaves. All right, also in D.C., a renewed attempt to repeal the city's home rule. Two Republican congressmen are reintroducing what's called the Bowser Act. It would revoke the district's ability to self-govern. DC News Now's Marielle Carbone reports from Capitol Hill with those details.
This is not the first time we've seen a threat on D.C. home rule, but one elected official tells me it feels more serious given that the White House, Congress, and the Supreme Court are all ruled by Republicans. He and others are vowing to ensure D.C. continues to keep its autonomy.
Two P words, performative and punitive.
For lifelong Washingtonian and ANC Commissioner Tiffany Nicole Johnson, the latest attempt to revoke D.C. home rule is frustrating.
They get us all in an uproar, all in a tizzy. We start focusing on this, taking away from what really matters to D.C. residents such as myself.
And Johnson says home rule is paramount for D.C. residents.
People forget D.C. has like 700,000 actual residents born and raised to live here.
And without it, critical D.C. programs are in jeopardy.
The summer youth employment program that Mayor Barry started, of which I'm a graduate of.
This week, Utah Senator Mike Lee and Tennessee Representative Andy Ogles reintroduced the Bowser Act, or the Bringing Oversight to Washington and Safety to Every Resident Act, which would repeal home rule and give Congress control of the city. Ogles writing in a statement, Bowser and a corrupt Washington City Council are incapable of managing the city. He and Lee pointing specifically to the indictment of Trayon White and, quote, repeated armed carjackings. Earlier this week, D.C. Council ousted White through its city code, and violent crime is down 27% year to date.
It's not time to hide or hope that Trump doesn't do the wrong thing.
D.C. Shadow Representative Oye Awalewa says he and other elected officials will continue to fight for D.C. statehood.
D.C. residents want to be treated like anybody else. We don't want special powers. We don't want to have anything more than our friends in Maryland, Virginia.
And this act named after Mayor Muriel Bowser. I did reach out to her office about this, but they declined to provide comment for this story. Reporting from Capitol Hill, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.